Hello again. It's Richard Shea, Philipstown Supervisor, and I hope that you're well and following the guidance of the governor and the CDC. There's some very encouraging things that are taking place, and I thought I'd share a few of those with you, along with some things we're doing. There are fewer people being hospitalized, which means that the curve is flattening, which is a good sign. That means there's less rate of infections, more people are being released from the hospital, and we're seeing fewer deaths. But people are still dying. Yesterday in New York alone, 600 people died, which is an awful, awful number. And it's a frightening time. And I get that most people are tired of this. But some of the things that people, I think there's too much focus on the negativity in the news, and most of the people who get this disease will get over it. You know, an astounding 98% of the people will recover, and about 85% of the people who get it will not need hospitalization. But having said that, you know, one person dying from this is too many. And we saw last week with the death of Darren Santos, an awful, awful occurrence, and the tragedy of all this. He's a husband, a father of three, and it's heartbreaking for the whole community. And I want the Santos family to know that we all grieve with them. We're all mourning. And it was a touching sight at the cemetery to see so many people turn out to support that family. And we're going to continue to support that family as a community. If you are sick and have symptoms of corona, there are things you can do, and this is what you should do. First and foremost, you should isolate yourself. You should call your doctor and set up a virtual visit. If you're not able to set up a virtual visit, then you can just describe your symptoms to your doctor on the phone. There is a protocol to establish who will get a test. The establishment of that is through clinical criteria. And your doctor can set that appointment up. There's been outreach from Nuvance, the testing company that has, the management company and testing company that has set up these test sites. So your doctor can set that appointment up. They fax over a prescription. You'll get an appointment. You drive to our testing site, either one of them. We have Dutchess Stadium and we have Anthony Wayne State Park. When you get there, they're saying, do not roll down your window. You pull in and someone will approach your car and they'll let you know what to do. But that's good news for us. The other side of the county is having a harder time getting testing, but 20 minutes up the road from us, you can get a test. So what does all this mean at this time? It means that now is not the time to let up. Governor Andrew Cuomo has extended New York on pause until May 15th, and I heartily agree with him. There's going to be a period that we're obviously all getting tired of, but it's a necessary period. And we need to have this period of delayed gratification so that we can get over this in a real way and be with each other again. We all want to be together and support one another. And that's the terrible paradox this crisis is causing. We can't. It's not a hurricane or some other natural disaster. We want to help, but it feels that we can't. But this is not entirely true. There are things that you can do. Number one is stay at home. And it sounds counterintuitive when you want to help to stay at home, but that is the most effective thing that we can do currently. And I know it stinks. I mean, everybody is getting cabin fever and going crazy from this. It's just really difficult not to be able to move around freely. You need to social distance. That means when you get outside, there are things you can do. You can wear a mask when you go out in public to shop or have any interaction with other people. And when I say wear a mask, it doesn't mean around your neck or just covering your mouth. It means covering your entire face. And here I have my groovy dragon mask. I don't know if you can see it. I got this from Nancy Montgomery. But these are effective. They are effective and they can help stop the spread of this and get us back to the new normal sooner than later. So wearing the mask correctly is important, but now is not the time to let up. Again, as I said, we need to delay that gratifying time when we're all going to be together and not lose ground. The more we do now, the sooner we'll be back together. I'd like to give you an update on what's been done and where we are in our own town. Townwide, you should have received a mailer offering assistance in your mailbox. That means you can get a Foodtown card, you can get a Drug World card. If you need deliveries, we have volunteers set up to deliver groceries. If you don't need the cards, then you can write out a check to Foodtown, and the person who will deliver your groceries can purchase a card for you, and then whatever isn't spent on the card can be credited to the card. We can't take small checks as a town. It's just too much administration. But having said that, if you feel like making a larger donation of $1,000 or more, please reach out to us, because we did have a large donation, but we are going through it. There is a lot of need out there. I've never seen the things that I've seen in the last month. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. But we got donations, so we were able to purchase Foodtown cards, key food cards in Beacon, because we want to help our neighbors. Cards to Drug World. We helped an organization called Recap in Newburgh that is providing meals to the needy in Newburgh. Beacon Mutual Aid, which is providing food assistance to people in Beacon. Lodger Meals in Newburgh, which is also supplying lunches to school-age children and families. Second Chance Foods in Carmel is another group that's doing great work. And the Mask Makers Guild that we supplied fabric to, we bought a roll of HEPA fabric. They have produced thousands of masks, which is an amazing, amazing feat. Kathleen Foley's been heading that organization up, so it's just a really great cross-county effort. There are over 600 people making masks, and they're being distributed to people on the front line. So really, really important. Our frontline people are the ones we really need to thank. You know, they continue to do their jobs, and they need to be supported. So we're trying to do that in little ways. We got gift cards to delis so they can get lunches. And I want to thank all the people who have helped during this time. Legislator Nancy Montgomery has pushed forward so many initiatives that they'd be hard to list. Every time I see her smiling face, she's giving something to someone. Yesterday, she brought 100 masks over to Philipstown. And there I am sporting my dragon mask. And there's Linda Valentino, and of course, the ever-present Greg Wunner with his horns and his mask. But we really do thank Nancy for all her efforts. She's been amazing, as usual. The people who continue to supply services, you know, the village workers continue to pick up our garbage, supply us with water. Highway workers from the town are maintaining the roads to ensure safe travel. People are answering the phones at Town Hall. The Town Hall staff is there for you. So we want these people to know how much we appreciate them, and all the folks at Foodtown. Foodtown's been very good to this community during this. They actually donated $10,000 worth of cards also, so our thanks to them. We all want this to end. We are tired of being home, and I am with you on that. But when will this end? My opinion is that this will only truly end. We have a vaccine and an effective treatment. Do we have a date for this? No, we don't. So this is going to be a longer slog than people imagine. I know there will be a time, probably over the summer, where things will loosen up a bit. But the last thing we want is this to come raging back in the fall. So we do need to keep our guard up, especially the most vulnerable, because you do not want to get this if you are in your 80s. It's just a very difficult position to be in if you're at that age. So protect the elderly, check on your neighbors, make sure everybody's okay. I know you all want to go back to your lives. I hear it every day. And, you know, things like simple things, going to the movies, no shopping, and probably the most important to a lot of people, haircuts and hairdresser appointments. This is the first time I'm feeling lucky to be among those who are hair challenged, as I like to call it. John Van Tassel, Councilman Van Tassel, and I are faring well during this time, not being able to see our barber. Generally, we cut our own hair, what we have left. This will end, and we'll go back to a new normal. What that looks like, no one can really say. I hope that this will lead to changes in the way we care for one another, and the ways we deal with endemic poverty, which I have seen firsthand. The curtain has been pulled back, and there's no denying that there is always need out there. It's not just now. there are a lot of people who suffer greatly beyond the corona crisis. I would also hope that we deal with inequality in our own country and throughout the world, because we are still the most fortunate people in the world. There are millions, if not billions, of people who would trade places with us right now. People would come here and risk getting this disease just to be in America. We need to remain hopeful and thankful for the good fortune of being born not only in America, but in New York State. And that affords us a lot of opportunity each and every day, things we take for granted that now we are not so much taking for granted. We need to realize, the opportunity of being able to work, being able to move about freely, and just go about our lives in a free country. It really is a privilege that most people don't have. They don't have the opportunity. And I'm not saying that, again, going back to that, people in this country don't suffer, and the poor and the needy will always suffer more than during this type of crisis. But there's so much to be grateful for, and for all the opportunity that is afforded us each and every day, and for our families and loved ones. I mean, we can't forget that. I know we're all getting under each other's skin and probably getting on each other's nerves at this time, but it's nice to be able to spend time with family. I mean, my son is home and we're doing a lot of FaceTime with family all over the country, but you can't forget how much you love people and love your family. And there's just so much to be grateful for. And I think this crisis is going to point that out to a lot of us, to make us realize that these simple pleasures are the most important things in our life. But there's just, as I said, a lot to be grateful for. And there will be a lot more to be grateful for in the future. I mean, I think we're going to appreciate, again, those simple times. We're just able to gather, able to be together, and just be amongst the people we like and love, and see our acquaintances again, our friends. But until then, we need to stay safe and follow the CDC guidelines. We need to wear a mask in public when you're going shopping and things like that. And again, wear it correctly. And if you're good, maybe you can get a groovy dragon mask like I have. Need to continue to social distance. That's very important. We need to wash our hands. I know we hear it every day, but you do need to do it. And by all appearances, all these measures are having a big impact in the country and in New York and here in Philipstown in Putnam County. Hug your family and let them know how much you love them, because supporting each other right now is more important than ever. And there'll come a time we're going to look back on this, and as awful as it is, and it's been awful, we're going to appreciate what comes out of it. That appreciation for family and friends. And again, the simple things. You can't buy what we want right now. You can't buy being together. It's not something you go online and get. That appreciation of friendship, of our loved ones, of simple things, grilling in our backyards. And I see some really creative ways people are gathering over social media. But I've seen a lot of touching moments and a lot of caring out there. And this is just a great community, a great country. I think we need to remember that. We do need smart people at the top. We need to listen to smart people. I mean, Dr. Anthony Fauci has a lifetime of covering things like this. And I take a lot of guidance from him, a lot of solace. I think the governor of New York has been doing a very good job. If you watch his press conferences, he gives a lot of facts, but he also gives a lot of hope. I think they're worth watching. We're here for you as a town. If you need us, you can call us at 845-265-5200 for assistance, again, with food, medicines, deliveries, things like that. We do have volunteers. A lot of good people have stepped up, and a lot of good work has been done on your behalf. So until we can see each other again, I would say be well, hug your family, and spread the love. Thank you. It's Richard Shea saying, I'll see you in the future.